I'm Alan Rucker, and the following video is for instructional purposes only. After watching this video, you will learn tips and tricks for preparing an inspection level neckerchief. Whether you have 2 days, 2 hours, or 20 minutes, this video is something you're definitely going to want in your toolbox. The neckerchief quality in this photograph is the goal of this video. If you are currently not at this level with your neckerchief, this video will help you get there. Step 1. If you're watching this video, you need to go ahead and untie that neckerchief. For some of you, your neckerchiefs have never been untied, so they may take a little longer than others. Got it. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have 4 inches of extra neckerchief on one side. That side that has 4 extra inches, you're going to put over the short side for a leftover right effect. You're going to create a nice flat top of the neckerchief knot, making sure that it is even with the triangle on the jumper top. Once you have done that, make the front surface of your knot nice and smooth. Place the ear through the hole in the back. And then before you tighten your knot really good, make sure that your ears are even. So check your ears, and then to get a nice square knot, you pull all 4 sides of the neckerchief. So you're going to pull simultaneously both ears and the top of the neckerchief. Squeeze it and pull. Squeeze the middle of the knot and pull. It will turn into a perfect square. You may have to finesse it, but squeeze and pull. Measure, make sure that your neckerchief is with the triangle. If it's not, which this one is a little low, loosen up your knot a bit, readjust, pull all 4 sides for that perfect square knot. Really crank down on it and squeeze your knot in the middle. Check your placement again. Make sure your ears are even. I'm squeezing the middle of the knot here, making sure I'm shaping it to a nice square. I check my ears and they are even. Okay, so I'm going to show you that again, but there's some points that I'd like to make during this demonstration. So in order for this neckerchief to be as nice as you would like it to be, there's a couple of things that you need to nail in the beginning. The first thing you need to nail is the knot. Okay, the knot has to be perfect square knot in the right placement on your jumper top. Things to take into consideration is that the square placement on the white jumper top is not the same for your dress blue jumper top. So you're going to need 2 neckerchiefs, and going to need to do this for both uniforms. This way you always have a neckerchief for your blues and you always have a neckerchief for your whites. The second thing that you want to take into consideration is making sure that the ears are even. Before you really crank down on that knot to make sure that it's nice and tight, make sure that your ears are even. If they're not, make them even before you get a tight knot. So those 3 things, the square knot, the even ears, and the tightness of the knot, are going to give you that perfect neckerchief look every single time. The only thing you need to make sure that you do, and it's not in this video, when you roll your neckerchief, is making sure that your seams are in the back of the neckerchief. There should be no folds visible from the front of your neckerchief on the neck part or on the ears. All of the folds should be in the back. I found that once these three things were the foundation for the neckerchief, that everything else was super easy to do. So practice makes perfect. So you may not nail it the first time, you may have to do it a couple times, but practice tying your neckerchief. Make sure your neckerchief is rolled well. It doesn't have to be rolled the best, it just needs to be rolled okay. But you may need a couple friends to help you roll the neckerchief pretty well. So we have two different neckerchiefs. This one is a brand new neckerchief. It's right out of the packaging. It's very stiff. It's hard to work with. It's not very pliable. But we were still able to get the ears even on the bottom. And we were also able to get the square knot perfect, not only in shape, but also in placement and tightness. This neckerchief here is older. It's about 1.5 years old. It's very soft, very pliable. Easier to work with, had a pretty decent roll on it, so we were able to work with this one as well, get the ears even at the bottom. You're also able to get a nice tight square knot at the top, even with the triangle on the jumper top. And both of these neckerchiefs are going to be used in the next part of our demonstration to show you how easy it is to manage shaping your neckerchief. Okay, next step. Now we're in the bathroom. Warm running water. You're going to soak the ears in warm water. Yep, I said it. Put your neckerchief underneath the faucet and run some warm water over them. Soak them all the way through. Smooth them out. Try to get some of those wrinkles out with that hot or that warm water. So at this point, now that your neckerchief is wet, you're going to lay it down on a flat surface and expose the back of the neckerchief. As you can see, I'm working from the back of the neckerchief. I'm going to unroll my ears and then I'm going to try to roll them back up as tightly as possible. This is the shaping part of the tutorial for a nice neckerchief. You need to make sure that you roll these ears as tight as you possibly can, and then you can shape them because they're wet and pliable. You can shape them to the desired shape or thickness that you would like, but my personal experience has been that the tighter you roll it, the better and the longer that your neckerchief stays looking really nice and sharp. Make sure that your ears are still even. As you can see, I have a few wrinkles on the front, so I'm going to wet my hands underneath the faucet, and I'm going to run my hands up and down the ears of the neckerchief with wet hands. Trying to make sure that I smooth out every wrinkle and every bump that I can. If you're doing this in a hurry and you don't have a lot of time, you can take your neckerchief from the sink straight to the uniform. Just take some brown paper towel and go down the ears, trying to absorb as much excess water as you can out of them. After you have done this, check the placement of your knot, check the evenness of your ears, and you are ready for inspection. Your inspector 9 times out of 10 is not going to touch the ears of your neckerchief if they're in the right place. They're only going to check the placement of the knot to the triangle. If you have more than 20 minutes, you can take some Scotch tape and put it around the ears of your neckerchief while it is wet after you have shaped them. The Scotch tape will help hold the round shape of your ears a lot better, and they will keep everything in place as it dries. So as you can see, I take one small piece of Scotch tape and I wrap it around the top part of the ear. I take another piece of Scotch tape and I wrap it around the bottom part of the ear, and I reshape the ear after I put the tape on. I repeat the process on the opposite ear at the top and at the bottom, and I reshape after I place the tape on. You don't need a lot, you just need a few pieces. Again, check your knot, check your length, and you're ready to start letting it dry. After the tape, find a hanger and put your neckerchief on the hanger. You can hang your neckerchief from a door frame or a door handle, but just make sure when you do hang it that it is shaped exactly the way that you'd like it to, because it's going to dry in that shape. So to get a more even shape to your neckerchief as it dries, you can put some weight on the bottom of the neckerchief while it's hanging. So I recommend getting a couple of ink pens. You can just clip them to the very, very bottom of the ears, and they will help your neckerchief dry nice and straight in the shape that you put it in as it's drying. So the best part about this process that I have found for myself is that once my knot is locked in and doesn't need to be adjusted, whenever I want a really fresh looking neckerchief, the only thing I have to do is repeat the steps of soaking the ears in the sink and reshaping the ears. The neckerchief knot always stays solid because it's nice and tight and strong, and it's in the shape that it's supposed to be in and in the position that it's supposed to be in. So after you have done all those steps, you're done. So I hope this video has helped you go from this neckerchief to this, well, not this neckerchief, but to these neckerchiefs. Please leave comments below. Let me know if something wasn't clear, and I'll try to clarify it for you. Thanks for watching.